That's right. A big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Chris Higgins in the studio, and it is Hump Day. Hope everyone's having a great week. Beautiful weather out there. A little bit warmer today, but still gorgeous here in the Rim Country. This morning, our guest is District 1 County Supervisor Steve Christensen. Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
Good morning, Chris, and good morning to Rim Country.
Yeah, enjoying the weather?
It's absolutely beautiful.
It is, isn't it? It's, a little warmer this week, but then weekend, I think the temperature, dipping down a little bit.
If it could stay like this, it'd be great. We know it's going to get hot.
Yeah, it's coming, it's happening, but, that's just part of it. But it's not Phoenix hot, not Valley hot.
Oh, no, but the heat is uncomfortable, but it also sets us up for some dangers. Fire danger.
Mm-hmm.
So June is kind of the month that we normally see as our most dangerous month before the monsoons start.
Gotcha. And one of the things that you wanted to talk about today, I know, is the Ready, Set, Go program.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard about that, which I'd be surprised if you haven't, it's just a concept of saying, when you live in an area like we do, wildfires, forest fires, even house fires, anything like that, that could start creating a problem for a community, and that community needs to evacuate or leave or something, you need to have the mindset of what's called the Ready, Set, Go. Now, the ready means you're ready right now, today, right now. So if you're not ready to leave right now with a sort of a short notice, then you're going to be in a panic mode and you're going to have some issues. So the things you need to be ready about is the fact that you're going to leave your home. You're going to plan on being gone for 2 or 3 weeks. So pack for that. If it's less than that, fine. If it's part of the problem I think we had last year with pine and strawberries, people didn't think it would last as long as it did.
Yes.
And so that created a lot of problems. They didn't take their prescriptions with them, or they left pets at home, or they left the house unlocked or something like that. So just be in the ready mode right now. So ready means all that preparedness. Be prepared to do with your animals what you're going to do, and take those vital things that you want from your home with you. Have a list or have them ready. Have a suitcase packed, that kind of a thing. Now, the next stage of an evacuation is to really go. Now, the set part is maybe sort of a warning shot that, get set and all of that, but that's kind of a thing that may not happen during the process. The set may be a very short luxury warning, and so just be prepared to go when you're given that option to leave, and kind of think about where you might want to go and whether you can afford to go. If you can't afford to go from your home, there will be some Red Cross shelters somewhere where people can shelter that way.
And with the Ready, one of the things to remember, the 5 Ps. The 5 Ps in the Ready portion, or in the Ready phase of that program, and that's having people and pet supplies, prescriptions, papers, personal needs, and priceless items. So those 5 things, those 5 Ps, as you said, Steve, if you have those in order and they're in a place that you can load them up quickly. And I know, depending on animals, that was one of the other things in the pine strawberry area, large animals. And people don't have the ability to move them, to transport all of them, or move them quickly. So that was one of the things.
If you have several horses, it becomes a situation. So quite often an evacuation is precautionary. It's something that is decided by, say, whoever's managing that fire. So a Forest Service crew, a Type 1 team or a Type 2 team says, okay, we've got a situation that looks like we might need to evacuate. So there usually is some warning to that. There's some time to prepare. And so it doesn't need to be a panic or a crisis or chaotic. However, It likely will be, the traffic will be slow, there's going to be things that you could criticize about it.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea, though, is to keep everybody safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so to not evacuate out of precaution sometimes could lead to very catastrophic things. To say, well, I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable because of evacuation, but then, you know, we lost 50 homes and several lives or whatever. And that,
Yeah.
of course, is not good.
Yes, and that was something, you know, hearing from different in different presentations. I'm sure you've heard this as well, with the backbone fire and how it went from the set to go in a matter of like 10-15 minutes.
Yes.
It was because of how quickly the fire was moving, and they had, you know, points identified that when the fire got to this point, they would go to set mode. When it got to this point, it would be go, and how quickly it moved from the set to the go.
Right.
Those points, those areas, how quickly the fire was moving, that's what caused that to happen so quickly. So the more prepared you are, and it just comes down to what you were saying, the more prepared you are, and that prepared to go, then the easier it will be on you.
Right, and it took about 6 hours to evacuate, or 6 to 10 hours, if I remember right. And a lot of it was just traffic moving slowly, and it's sort of like, okay, how could we do that better next time? Maybe we would evacuate sections of the areas rather than everyone trying to evacuate all at once, because the fire was literally miles away when the evacuation order was issued. And so, like I said before, set is kind of a luxury. And I think the distance between the 20-minute interval that you think kind of caused a little panic of its own.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you know, we've gone from set to evacuate in 20 minutes. And so it's probably just coming down on our heads right now. And it wasn't. And so anyway, it's a very scary thing. The word evacuation is scary. We've got a fire. You see a giant plume of smoke. You're afraid you're going to lose your home. And all of those things. So I don't order the evacuation or delay it or deny it or make a decision in it, other than I'm going to go with what the professionals recommend. Okay, so the professionals are the Forest Service, and then our public safety people are going to be the Sheriff's Department in many cases, and or the town of Payson, and all the different public service kind of organizations are the ones that execute the evacuation. And so there's been a lot of discussion about, well, which way do we go? Right now, I want you to decide for me which way we go. And we don't know what direction that is yet, because we don't know if the fire is in the town. It started maybe at a home.
Yes.
We don't know if it's north or south or east or west. We don't know.
Yeah.
And we don't know what part of the town or the county is being threatened.
Yep.
And so those decisions are always made then.
Yes.
Okay? And people need to be comfortable that there is a plan, like, okay, you're going to be driving on a road somewhere, and that's the plan, but we don't know if you're heading south yet, or east, or north, and those kind of things. And there may actually be more options than that.
There was a great presentation by the different organizations, Payson, Fire Department, and the Toronto National Forest Service, and other groups that work together when an incident like that occurs, a wildfire. And talking about that, our fuels manager for the town of Payson, Kevin McCulley, a crucial part of that. So they really did a great job explaining that you don't want to have, as you said, a predetermined evacuation route. This is what we're going to do, and you ingrain it in people's heads and say, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, practice it, practice it, practice it, and then there be an incident that blocks that or is in the way of that path, and you have people that are somewhat conditioned, where they think, okay, this is how we escape, this is how we leave, but they can't go that way, so then they're just going into harm's way and trying to go a route that isn't accessible or isn't good. And so they explained that you don't want to do that. You want to be prepared, be in that ready state, constantly. Just, where we live, that's how you should live. That's how we should be, in that ready state. So then when we hear, okay, this is where the threat is coming from, then they can let people know the proper evacuation route and what to do.
Right, and the county actually has a really good tool that if you're not hooked up to it, you should be, and it's called Everbridge.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can find that on the Gila County website, or I think you can just Google it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, what it is it's a system that the county will send you messages on whatever device you choose. So it could be your phone or your iPad or computer, and you basically sign up for it. And when you do sign up for it, it identifies you as where you live, where your neighborhood is, where your address is. So they're not going to bug you with advertisements or anything like that. They're just going to have that in the ready. And so when they need to send out a message, they can, on their computer, they can kind of circle an area and say, I want everybody in this area contacted. And then the computer sends out a text message or an email or whatever you signed up for, and it says, we have a fire or we have an emergency of some sort, be prepared, this is what we're going to keep you updated, those kind of things. And so please sign up for Everbridge. It's a free service, there's no cost, and it's a really awesome tool that the county can use to where they don't have to notify the entire county of what's going on, maybe specifically in Whispering Pines. Okay,
Yes.
something like that.
And the website, it's Ready Gila.
Ready Gila.
Ready Gila, and that's GILA.com for those of you like myself that moved from back east and don't know how to say Gila.
It's Gila.
Gila. And all the other words that we don't say properly when we first move here to the Southwest. But ReadyGila.com, and the program is Everbridge, EVER, Bridge.
Exactly.
And a great program. And just looking on the website, during the bushfire. So, important notices on the bushfire, and like you said,
Highway closures.
Highway closures. And it's important that people, especially people that are new to the area, and we're seeing a lot of people that are, have recently moved or new to the area, and maybe even new to the Southwest, to get your information from a source like this, a actual official source. Please don't rely on the Facebook pages, the neighborhood pages, the yard sale pages, community talk pages.
Yeah.
Some people, they do put links to these sites, and they, put links to credible information, but a lot of times it's hearsay. It's hearsay, it's just...
do not trust anything that you see on, especially in a crisis situation.
Yes.
Because there'll be posts on there about how the place is burning down, or that your house is being looted.
Yeah, and
lots of false information.
There were some examples from the Backbone Fire, and unfortunately, so the best place to go is ReadyGila.com. Notifications from the Everbridge system, from the town of Payson, from Gila County, but not from those yard sale pages. And please, if you're someone that likes putting information on those sites, on those social media pages.
Make sure it's accurate.
Make sure it's accurate. Yeah, don't just put something out there because you heard it from a neighbor's, cousins, uncles, friend, who is a retired police officer. It just isn't good. It isn't helping people.
Even last year at the Backbone, I received information from credible officials that I would talk about, and then it turned out to not be correct. And so incorrect information is critical, that we don't have that, but sometimes that occurs. So stay calm, everybody, and just be prepared, because that fire season is upon us. And so I do want to mention as well that we're going to have a town hall style meeting. I'm going to have a town hall style meeting on June 13th. So that's coming right up.
Gotcha.
And it's going to start at 9 a.m. I think that's a Monday. And we're going to have it at the new county building. So just come on into the lobby and come right on in. We're going to have a presentation. We're going to talk about forest health. We're going to talk about evacuation. We're going
Yeah.
to talk about a myriad of things. We're going to let everybody ask questions, whatever they'd like to do.
Yeah.
So that's June 13th, starting at 9 at the new county facilities in the multipurpose room, also known as the courtroom or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, the big room.
And what time is that again?
9 o'clock, June
9 o'clock.
13th.
Okay.
Okay, that's when we'll get started. And so I invite everybody. I
Okay.
really do. Just anybody, even if you don't live in my district, come on down and we're going to talk about county things. Okay? It's not going to be a campaign
Yeah.
event. I want to let everybody be clear about that. We're not going to talk about the campaign at all. It's a county supervisor event. Okay?
There we go.
And then also on July 5th, right
Mhm.
after the 4th of July,
Mhm.
that evening at 6 o'clock at Ponderosa Bible Church, the Payson Tea Party is conducting a debate for District 1 supervisor election
Candidates. Yeah.
candidates, okay?
Yeah.
So I invite everyone that would like to, I don't think you tune into that, you either come
Yes.
to it. Okay, so I have no idea what the questions are gonna be, they're gonna be probably from the public. I'm not running that at all, that's not something that I set up, that's the Payson Tea Party that did that. And so I thank them for doing that because they've been very active with the debates with the mayor and with the council and with other candidates and the meet and greets that they've had. So just remember that, July 5th is gonna be a debate. I invite everybody to come to that. Hopefully, that'll be excitingly fun. 6 o'clock in the evening. Also want to say that we have finalized our redistricting in the county. Now, there's redistricting that occurs at the state level, the congressional level, U.S. level, all of that. This is at the county level for the districts within the county, and there's a total of 3. I'm the District 1 supervisor, which is up here in the Rim Country. Tim Humphrey is the District 2 supervisor, so he's basically Geisela South all the way into the Globe Miami area.
Okay.
Done a lot of Tunnel Basin in that, and it kind of a squiggly line goes all over. And then Supervisor Woody Klein is District 3. He has probably the largest geographical, goes from way down south to the very bottom, encompasses all 3 tribal entities,
Okay.
goes up through Young, extends on up, and he actually has like Lion Springs, Diamond Point, Star Valley, the Chaparral, Pines, Rim Club, a very small section of Payson on the south side, the southeast side. And so District 1 is the smallest geographical area, but we have grown the most. We have more population here than the others. It's based on population, not square miles. Okay, so every 10 years, there's got to be a decision made whether we're going to redistrict, whether we have to get those lines moved in order to accommodate a more balanced representation within the county. And that's the whole point. It goes way back to the original founding fathers. So, District 1 has grown, okay, population-wise. So, we voted on adjusting those lines to where now the districts will be within a 1.2% balance, and that's as close as we could get it. Because it has to be done by precincts, not just by saying, well, let's take this group of people or that group of people. It has to be done by precincts.
Okay.
Now, so District 1 is going to lose 2 precincts
Okay.
to Woody's district. They will become District 3. And there was some other changes down south in Globe. I couldn't even speak to that.
Yeah.
They changed a few things down right in the middle of Globe, which does not affect me. The Zangrape precinct and the Whispering Pines precinct are going to go to District 3. So basically what that means is Whispering Pines, Rim Trail, Verde Glen, Bonita Creek, all the way over to Tonto Basin, all the way over to Christopher Creek, all the way to the edges of the county, all the way out there, Colcord Road. All of that area is, I'm going to lose.
District 3.
I'm going to lose it because of the population. So my district then is going to encompass basically most of Payson. Okay. It also heads on down south, and I get half of Rye
Okay.
and a ranch at Deer Creek and things like that, so not a lot of population there. Everything to the west going out that direction, Doll Baby Ranch, all the way to the edges over there, all the way up north, so it's gonna get pine, strawberry,
East Verde Estates?
East Verde Estates,
Okay.
also gonna have Mesa Dell
Okay.
and the Freedom Acres area.
Okay.
Flowing Springs, of course, all of that area there still stays in my district.
Okay.
So, smaller geographically, but still same amount of people.
Yes.
Yep, and so it's right in the vicinity of 15,000
Okay.
per
district.
district.
Gotcha. And so roughly the population of Gila County then
Is somewhere around 55,000, so I said 15,000, you'll have to do the math, I can't
so it's
actually
about
remember. It's probably about 16,000.
17,000.
Right in there. And so the reason we elected to go with that map versus several other options was it got us the closest to the balance.
Yes.
And that's really what I think is important, that we be as balanced as possible, equal representation. It's just the right thing to do. And it has nothing to do with my political preferences or anything. I'm a little sad, actually. I'm losing those people.
Yeah.
But it's the way the balance goes. Woody's an excellent supervisor, so you can do that. And then maybe in 10 years we won't have to readjust those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, because once the disparity becomes up to the 10% mark, then we have to.
Gotcha.
And we were at 9.8, I think, something. We were right on the cuff of
right there.
doing it. So one of our options was to do nothing,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, might as well address it now.
yeah, we addressed it now, so that we're balanced at least for the next 10 years really well. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Now, the other thing that you were looking at talking a little bit about is budget. So
Yes.
budget has it been finalized?
The budget has not been finalized and voted on,
Gotcha.
but
Okay.
it's in that position right now. It is in the queue. We do have to vote on it in June. It's on the schedule.
Okay.
So I can't make any promises about what's happening there, but we are addressing some of the wages.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty we have with wages being too low
Yes.
in much of the county, much of the people that work are not making enough to be competitive with the private sector at all,
Mhm.
which means we're having a very difficult time hiring people, getting people to just even apply
Yes.
in our roads department, all of that, and also the sheriff's detention officers. We got a kind of a little crisis there
Yeah.
with the
Oh,
wages. They're way down on employees, and they can't get anybody to come in. You can literally make more money working at Walmart without
Mhm.
working as a detention officer, which can be a lot more demanding.
Mhm.
Okay, the county does have great benefits.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is one thing that we can say we do have great benefits. If you want to commit to a career,
Mhm.
then that's a good thing for you. But we also understand you got to pay rent on that journey too.
Yes.
Okay, with inflation going up, the cost of everything going up, it's just we're behind the scale. We are addressing that in this budget. I'm not going to reveal what that is, but I am happy with it. It is part of what I've been pushing for and wanting to do, and it's going to be a nice thing. It's going to cost the county approximately $2 million more in our budget each year, but that is sustainable.
Mhm.
We have been receiving more tax dollars coming in.
Mhm.
And that's due to the amount of assessments really on properties. And we also have been doing very well with our tourism, so our sales tax. People that don't live in the county are paying a lot of the sales taxes.
Yes.
And so that's a very good way to get money. Now, we only get 1%.
Mhm.
Okay, so the town of Payson's able to charge more. The various municipalities that are incorporated can charge a sales tax.
Mhm.
We get 1%. That's all the more the county can get out of the sales tax. But it's still it's for the entire county, so we get a pretty significant amount of money
Mhm.
with that. And so that's how we're going to pay for this increase in wages.
Mhm.
Now, the budget for the county runs on a fiscal year, which means it doesn't run from January 1st to December 31st. It actually runs from the very beginning of July to the end of June.
Mhm.
So we are winding up toward the end now. We're in the last month of this year and we're on track. We're within budget. We're doing well. We're healthy financially,
Mhm.
which is a difficult thing in these days
It's a
and these
challenge,
times.
yeah.
And so I attribute that to good leadership. We have trimmed our belt. We have found ways to save and look for ways to plug leaks and holes where there might be waste or something like that.
Mhm.
And so, like you would at your own home, when you don't have an abundance of money, you got to look for ways to save and to trim and to cut so you can pay your bills.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting, when you talk about the wages and whether it's the county, the town, the state, for the wages, the salaries that need to be paid. They are what they are. There's a industry standard, kind of a scale that people are paid for that profession, whether it's working
Right.
for the county or any of those entities.
Yes.
And if you're not close to that, competitive, there's other factors like you said, benefits, where you live, quality of life, so many other factors that work into that. But if you're not able to retain people or hire people, well then if you're not providing those services for residents, that's you're not doing what needs to be done. So
Yeah, there's always that argument that some of our employees are paid too much, but this is the true story about that. If these are professionals, these are
Mhm.
educated, they've gone to school, they have experience, and they become our managers, or they become
Yeah.
a department head or whatever. And they are actually being paid less than what they could get out in
Yeah.
the free market.
Yeah.
And so they're choosing to be part of the county. We have a great staff, we really do. Where the problem is not there, because we need to be paying enough to retain the quality people that we need, yes.
Mhm.
And they're not paid too much. I know
No.
everybody said they're paid too much, but they're professionals, and if you were in that position and you were a professional bringing that quality to the county, you would want to have those wages. I'm not at all in favor of saying let's cut those people's wages.
Yeah.
That won't work. That's only
It's not a solution.
It's not a solution. It's actually a huge negative. So what we need to do is we need to elevate those that are not making the right amount of money. And
Mhm.
we're going to do what this budget proposing, and it has not passed yet, but I believe it will, is that some of our employees are going to receive as much as a 17% increase in wages.
Mhm.
And on the higher end, the employees, as you go up this scale of pay, which we have 600 employees, there is no line that we say no one's going to get an increase. Everyone's going to get an increase. And because that's fair and that's the way it should go, you shouldn't say, well, we're going to draw a line and everybody above this line doesn't get anything. I want you to tell me where that line is, by the way.
Mhm.
And there is no place that you can put it and be fair. So the very top paid people will be receiving less than 2%
Mhm.
of an increase. And that's the way it needs to go. When you give a cost of living increase, usually that's a percentage. And so you give a cost of living increase to say it's a 1.5% or 2%. So everyone gets 2%. Well, the people that get paid a lot of money, 2% becomes quite a big amount of money. Where someone that paid very little, 2% is like, oh, here's your 10 cents.
Mhm.
Or here's your 20 cents. It doesn't do much. So the way we're doing it in this budget is the way I've been recommending to do it. I've really pushed hard to do this to where it is not a percentage increase
Mhm.
flat across the board. And so we're going to do it. I think we're going to pass that one.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
so I'm proud of
And
that.
people can find out more about this, ask questions probably about budget and about other events, redistricting, things that have happened at the town hall. This is a good place where people can get more information on
Yes,
these
we're going to
things.
have a discussion, town hall style,
Yep.
and I will be there as long as anybody has questions, and that is when? June 13th,
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
There we go.
Okay,
Well, great. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming on today. It's already 10:30.
wow,
I know.
time flies. Thank
It's-
you, Chris.
Hey, you're very welcome. It's all good stuff, though. And again, at the beginning of the program, Steve brought up the Everbridge program. If you haven't signed up for the Everbridge program because you're newer to the community or you just never have gotten around to it, go to readyhela.com, and that's where you can sign up for the Everbridge program, to where you can get alerts on your computer, your smartphone, tablet, whatever you would like, whatever device that's most convenient for you. So if there is an incident, you can get messages that are specific to your area, to where you live, and that's the best way to stay informed. So make sure, again, that you get signed up for the Everbridge program.
Do it today.
There we go. Well, thank you again, Steve. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and a big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Let's get back to music with some Jim Croce, Mumford & Sons, Duran Duran, and more. But first, how about a quick update from the National Weather Service?
Weather forecast for Payson and
Hey,
surrounding
Chris.
areas.
All right. See you later, guys.